to the Adventure of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Let's go! You got to feel top line. The continuous event line. The biscuit funk. Fight at the bus set. Down at the stadium. Stand to the bike wheel. The biscuit funk. Hey, let's go. Shoot up at the bike club.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with
Marky Ramone.
Nice, here at Aftershock. So, have you played in all your life? Have you played Aftershock before?
No, I played every other festival.
Yeah.
The US Festival, the one in Hellfest, the one last month in Kentucky.
Louder Than Life.
Louder Than Life, Warped Tour, Lollapalooza.
Yeah, I know you've been. You played US Festival.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, it was great.
I was like, I was 16 years old. I remember I told my dad, I'm going to a music festival. I'll see you after the weekend. Craziest experience of my life.
110 degrees.
Yeah.
Out there, we're with our leather jackets on, and there must have been about 200,000 people when we went on.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience,
So I love that you said that because it must have been memorable. When you mentioned the US Festival, I'm like, wow, that means it was a memorable festival.
I got the tape of the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So tell our listeners a little bit about your whole journey. What one story, good or bad, in your whole musical journey that stands on your mind, what would it be?
Being appreciated by our fans and bands that were influenced by us, and seeing it all over the world when you tour the world, and then eventually being the first punk band to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And then winning a Grammy. We never thought we would win anything.
Is that wild, right?
Yeah, it's wild. And the first record that I recorded with Johnny, Joey, and Dee Dee was I Want to Be Sedated, and that just became double platinum. And who knew?
Like, who could imagine, right?
I never knew that,
I know from just watching some of the documentaries and stuff, like you guys were auditioning or at CBGBs, and it was like, I don't think you thought you would ever get it in a million years. And then it was like, okay, you're playing.
Yeah, Tommy asked me to join the group along with Dee Dee. He wanted to produce. I just got off a tour with The Clash with Richard Hell and the Voidoids. And Dee Dee and Johnny approached me at CBGB's at the bar. And they gave me a tape of their live show and the album that I was on called Road to Ruin, the demo form. And I had to do that in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I did it. And we started touring.
How do you compare what music's like then to music today?
Well, it was a lot more original then.
That's true.
But each to his own.
Yeah.
If you like blues, if you like jazz, you like rap, you like hip-hop, you like punk, you like rock, good. There's choices for everybody. This is my shout-out to new bands. Just try to get something that's original.
Yeah.
Because what I noticed, a lot of bands just follow a formula, and they end up sounding alike.
It's so funny you say that, because I talk about that all the time now. Like, you take the old school bands, even if they were in the same genre, they never sounded the same. And I find that there are a lot of new bands, I always say, they follow like an algebraic equation to create a song. And I think what's good about today, blending genres, like when you have a band that has like 4 different people and they're all into different genres, that's where we get the original music today, because there is no formula for what they're doing.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. So what keeps you going all these years later?
Well, after Johnny, Joey, and Dee Dee died, and Tommy, they died first, I took it upon myself to keep the music alive. I feel that the songs are too good not to be played, and I travel the world.
Yeah.
And I play these songs, and I do 37 songs. Not today, because the set list is shorter. Because
Yeah,
there's
'cause
so
it's a
many bands
festival.
here. But that's what I like to do.
What's your favorite song to play?
Rock and Roll High School, which I was in. Good movie.
Nice.
Funny movie.
Yeah.
And I Want to Be Sedated and Blitzkrieg Bop.
Does it blow your mind? That was going to be my next one after you mentioned it. How many bands play that song during their set?
Well, we just did the Kentucky Festival, and what's their names? Not some band was on after us. They're from L.A. And before then, we did Blitzkrieg Bop, my band.
Yeah.
Then after we got off the stage, towards the end of their set, they did Blitzkrieg Bop. So I was happy because it was a homage, and that they were thankful that that we existed.
Yeah.
And that we were one of their influences. And what's the other band?
Well, Zombie does it all the time.
Yeah, Dave Grohl's band.
Oh, yeah, Foo Fighters?
Yeah, they do Blitzkrieg Bop.
Yeah.
So everywhere you go, everyone's Blitzkrieg Bopping.
I know, right?
Fine. It's fine.
You got to love it, because I think there wouldn't be punk music today if it weren't for you guys.
No, not as we know it.
Right, exactly. What was it that really connected you to music before all of this?
Well, a little boy listening to Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, the Who, the Kinks, the Phil Spector girl groups, things like that. Hal Blaine, drummer, Keith Moon, all jazz drummers like Buddy Rich, Joe Morello from Dave Brubeck, all these, Tony Williams, all these guys affected me one way or another. So
Yeah.
you mix that up. And
I think that's the difference, too, with bands today is so all the old school punk bands had influence of a totally different genre because punk didn't exist.
that's the thing.
So you did create something original because you saw that, loved that, but you wanted something different.
I wanted to be able to attempt to play like those great jazz drummers. But eventually, of course, I started playing rock. And jazz is a lot harder.
Yeah.
And I can play some jazz. But those guys, Buddy Rich and all those great players, really were unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how I grew up, just drumming and listening to people who inspired me.
I love it. And so how old were you when you first started?
12.
Wow. Nice. And did you know at that beginning that this was what you were going to do here
Yes, this is what I wanted to do. School, I wasn't that impressed about. If there were certain subjects I did very well. I went to summer school 3 years in a row, but I didn't have to go all year round. But I knew I could pass the tests because they were easy.
Right.
So I passed the tests in summer school. So in actuality, it took me 6 months to graduate high school.
Wow. I love it.
Because in high school, as long as you pass the tests, that's all that mattered.
I always looked at it as like babysitting, not going to school. They were just babysitting.
Hated it.
Yeah.
That's just, they teach you the same old typical stuff, that wasn't necessary for me to learn because I knew what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So my teachers were on the stereo.
There you go. I love it. And that's another thing, too. I think the difference in music, like you and I growing up, when you bought an album, first of all, you didn't hear what it sounded like first unless you went to a live show. And it was a whole experience.
Yeah.
Like, I think kids today are missing that.
Well, I like the smell when I opened up the album. I obviously like the band a lot. I was so impressed with what they did before that. So I did buy their next album.
Yeah.
And the vinyl sounds better. It's warmer. And I miss the scratches and all that stuff. Plus, they looked good. You could read the liner notes. They had good artwork.
Yep.
You could open up the sleeve and see it and who did what and what did where. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. My first album I ever owned myself, not the ones I stole from my brother, but the one I owned for myself, I won at Seaside Heights on the boardwalk. I looked up. There were these 4 dudes on an album that looked really cool, and it was the original Kiss album when it first came out. And I won it at the Boardwalk.
Yeah, my guitar player from my first band produced them.
Wow.
The first 2 albums.
Wow, that's
And
pretty
Dust,
cool.
My band Dust.
Very cool. So, any final words you want to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, hey ho, let's go. Got 5 new songs that I just recorded. They're out on downstreaming, your favorite downstreaming things, and I will eventually put out vinyl. But they're out there now.
Okay.
So I did 5 songs.
Oh, cool. We'll have to make sure
Brand new.
everybody checks it out.
Yeah.
See, that puts me in awe at your stage after all these years still putting out new songs. That
Yeah.
amazes me. True musician.
Yeah, they're covers, but Ramones style.
Yeah.
One is called It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones.
Nice.
Keep on Dancing by the Gentrys. Octopus is Garden by the Beatles. New York, New York, who Frank Sinatra did originally. And there's 5 of them all together. So
Very cool. Well, everybody's going to have to check out those songs.
yeah, just
and
go on your downloading thing.
thanks for keeping the music alive. And I'm so happy you're here at Aftershock.
Thanks.
Thanks for being on the
Thanks a
Adventures
lot.
of Pipeman.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Hey, everybody, this is Marky Ramone, and you're listening to the Pipeman on W4CY.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.